Welcome to the match review for the Leicester versus Coventry game, Phil. Obviously, Sam normally does this with me, but today we've got you.
Lucky you.
I know. Give me your kind of thoughts on this game, because first game back in the Championship, M69 derby.
Yeah.
Finally got a win. What do you take from this game?
Well, I think I think we have to take lots of positives from it, really. I think the biggest positive is, we've took 3 points from the first game in the Championship. And for me, that's the massive focus this season, is just get the points. To a certain extent, don't care how the points come. I just want us to get 3 points. At 1-0 down, Coventry had a great chance. Leicester keeper makes a tremendous save. I don't know if you've seen it back. You sit the other end. It was right in front of us, and we could see what a save he makes there to make it stop it being 2-0. So, in the end, it could have been a completely different result, and we could have been sat here. I could have been grumbling today, but the result was what matters. 3 big points, really.
Yeah, like I say, it wasn't an easy watch, was it? It wasn't an easy watch. Obviously, the first half for me, I thought it was a decent half. I thought we did better with what we wanted to show. But then the second half, Coventry came out and they really took the skin in the neck and the go for us. And that's what cost us, because they got the goal very early on with a corner. Again, we're not the best with corners or set pieces. They wanted to get better at that, but again, it just wasn't pretty. In the first 30 minutes of that second half, they were all over us. And only because of how we spoke today, there's only a few players that came on, and it really changed the game. Someone like Pratt, Iheanacho, these players, like you say, this is the quality we'll probably bring on that other teams don't have now.
I think if you look at the game as a whole, I thought for a start, I thought the King Power, I thought the fans were in good voice yesterday. Because it's very easy potentially to get relegated down to the Championship and be licking your wounds sort of and being a bit down. But I thought the first 15-20 minutes King Power was making some good noise. I thought the fans were in good spirits. There was a good atmosphere outside the ground. And I think that carried on into the game. And I think we can see from what Enzo's trying at times. Being honest, I thought it was a little bit similar to what Claude Puel's done, a little bit similar to what Brendan Rodgers done, but it is at times a little bit more dynamic. And I think Winks, for me, is quite a big part of that. I would worry slightly if Winks wasn't in that side, because he seems to do what at times really last year I'd have loved to see Newby do, which is receive the ball facing his own goal and then pivot and actually go forward with it. He was breaking through those lines a little bit. So I thought Winks did well without being outstanding.
Yeah, the difficult part with this, obviously, plan and what we wanted to do this season is Enzo's only been in a month, so it's not going to be perfect. I think we saw how he wanted to play in the first half. Didn't obviously carry over into the second half as much, but like you say, the likes of Winks, Dewsbury obviously showed it yesterday. You've got likes of Pratt, who came on, showed that probably isn't the best thing to put someone like Ndidi up more higher in the pitch, so probably not the best idea. But like people are saying, Pratt changed the game massively. I thought that was a good move from Enzo. It really did change the attacking lineup, because before that 70th minute happened, we barely had a chance on goal, didn't we?
We didn't create many chances in goal. I think it was McAteer in the first half, right? You were probably buying your half-time pie, Reedy, and so you would have missed it. You literally were, weren't you?
Yeah, no, I was getting a bother.
He was literally down in the, missing the game, buying pies, pizzas, whatever. And yeah, McAteer had a good chance again, right in front of us in the family stand. The keeper, I can't remember if their keeper saved it or if he just put it to the side net. Anyway, that was about the only chance of the first half. But I think overall, listen, the first half, I was quite impressed by Coventry. I thought they did okay. I thought we did okay. It's obviously straight into the first season. We've not had a great pre-season. So I think that maybe showed at times in there. And I think we will grow into this season. But like you've just said, Reedy, and like people have said there, for me, the big difference is, and Mark Robbins came out afterwards and said he looked over at the Leicester bench and saw £100 million worth of talent on the Leicester City bench. This is where we're at, Reedy. We've had this chat earlier today, but we're that club. £100 million worth of talent in the Championship. Most most of the Championship teams haven't got that in their whole squad. So to have Kelechi Iheanacho, a £25 million player, might not be worth that now. To have Dennis Pratt, come on. To have even Hamza Chowdhury, these players who were sat on our bench. Castagna didn't even come on. We maybe this season, in that last 20-25 minutes of games, our quality is going to come through when other teams are having to make substitutions to let their players, rotate and have a rest. Leicester's quality on the bench at the moment, in particular, I thought we looked stronger at the end than at the start.
The first thing is that's not our fault though, is it?
Obviously, no, I think it's a positive.
We've come down the level.
I think that's what you have to realise. Mark Robins says it. How, he must look at Leicester's bench and go, well, they've not even played Patson Daka, who's a £20 million international striker.
Yeah.
Mark Robins would have loved to have had Patson Daka in his first team starting, not sat on the bench, didn't even need to play him. So our quality and depth at the moment is far outstretched teams like Coventry. So we therefore should be beating them. I'm not going to be, we will beat them, but we should be, because look at that quality on our bench.
Yeah, Andy Medhurst says the Premier League level fitness will show. It will, and that is the level we're at, where we have got one of the best training facilities in the world, or in the UK at least anyway. So it does show that.
I mean, I agree with Anthony there, covering each position. At the moment, we have got a good depth of
too
squad.
Much coverage in some areas.
Castagna didn't even make an appearance yesterday. Now, whether that's because Reedy, he might be off, the Juventus or Fulham or somewhere, maybe there is some of that. But to have players like Castagna, Patson Daka, Soumare, there's real quality in that depth there. But look at, the biggest thing we haven't even touched on yet is Dewsbury Hall, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, like I say, it's like first half for me, I don't think you saw him as much, but the moment you saw him going a bit more attackive, I think obviously Pratt did help when he came on, because he was a bit more aggressive on the ball instead of someone like Ndidi not being able to give the ball to him. But like you say, I think, if I'm totally honest, I don't think it was as much as Enzo's plan. I think it was just Dewsbury Hall being the level we know he can be.
He's a good player, and we've always said he's passionate, and he's a lad from Leicester, so we all love him. But I actually think, coming back to like you were saying there about, I'm not convinced by Ndidi in that position. I am convinced by Dennis Pratt. Previous managers have not really gone for Dennis Pratt. I think Dennis Pratt is perfect in that role, and I actually think when he came on, and I also think Kelechi Iheanacho, which we need to talk about a little bit, I think when he made those changes, I thought we looked better. And I think that's what helped Dewsbury Hall get a bit further forward, because he had support with Nacho holding the ball up a little bit more, and Dennis Pratt. It's a double-edged thing. You've got Nacho holding it up and Dennis Pratt going a little bit further forward, which released Dewsbury Hall to attack that penalty area.
Well, like I say, you were saying before that we looked stronger at the end of the game. Is this where now we see Vardy go to the bench? Because, like you say, we're not giving the service. Like I said, we gave it to Mavididi a lot. Then it didn't go anywhere further than that. We need someone in that middle of the pitch who will hold that ball up, like a Pratt, like a Kelechi Iheanacho, or even a Dewsbury Hall at times, to have that ball where other players run onto them. Whereas someone like Vardy and Daka will always just want that ball over the top or straight to them to go on the attack on the goal.
I mean, Andy Medhurst says there, he says Vardy was disappointing. Is his time coming to end? Andy, none of us want to talk about it really, but in that first half when Leicester were attacking into where I sit, which is P1, the family stand, there was times where we were watching Vardy and the ball, like you say, was pinging out to McAteer, pinging out to Mavididi. We were obviously trying to get them involved, and then we were watching Vardy's run, and of course he's enthusiastic, but he just wasn't getting anywhere near the ball. He wasn't really offering for me. If I was watching him, I wasn't seeing him offering like a bursting run just on the chance. He was sort of, he was like a coiled cobra almost, waiting to go, but never went at all. And I think I would definitely be preferring to see Kelechi Iheanacho. I don't think Patson Daka would even suit that role either.
It's the style that Enzo wants to play. It just doesn't suit either Daka or Vardy unless you do switch it up to like a two up front with Kel. When Kel was coming on, you could see him on the bench warming up or getting his kit on ready to go. I was saying you need to put him on with Vardy or do something different, because like we said last year, if it was the same swap for swap, like a striker for striker, or bring off Perez for Brighton, there was always a similar, just boring change. Whereas we always kept saying, we're losing 1-0, put 2 up top.
Yeah.
Change it and make a different style instead of playing the same old thing. But it's because we brought Ndidi off and put Pratt and Kellon together. It worked a lot better in the attack. So
I agree. Well, Richard Wyatt says there about Iheanacho coming on. I think that looked better. And I would agree. I think Vardy for 15, 20 minutes at the end was interesting. Kyle also says about Nacho needing to start every game. We've been talking about Nacho starting every game, really, for
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, you know, we see something different to managers in there at all. Luke also says about Pratt being the game changer. I think it was a combination of Dennis Pratt coming on and Kelechi Iheanacho. It was a double pronged. We had a bit more holding the ball up there, which gave Dewsbury Hall that bit more of a free rein.
It all depends on how Enzo wants to set up. Because, like I said, most pre-season we have seen someone like Castagna being on that right hand side, but now he's put McAteer there. He's a bit more attacking and not as much defending. That's why he's probably put someone like Ndidi there, maybe to be a bit more defensively solid in the back line.
Well, Dean Sanders there says about Mavididi. He says a very good debut by Mavididi. Looks an exciting player for us. Maybe our next plans, hopefully more. Listen, a lot of fans were very, very positive about Mavididi. I thought he looked okay. It's a home debut, you know, quite a big crowd there, big local derby. I thought he did a few bits that weren't very good. I thought he did a few bits that were very good, but generally overall, we were clearly trying to get the ball to him. The guy's only been at the club for under a week, really. So, you know, I felt like that was there was promise there.
He needs to get used to the style we're playing. Obviously, like you say, he's only been here a week. I thought the 2 moments that he was brilliant with, we obviously scored from, in my eyes anyway. He did brilliant with that first run down the wing to give it to Pratt, for him to cross it into Dewsbury Hall. And then the second one where he megs their player straight into Dewsbury Hall again to score a goal again. So in 2 big moments, he obviously was a massive part of them. But other moments, yes, he was a bit frustrating to watch.
There was a moment, I don't know if people watching this saw it. It was right in front of the main stand in the first half. He got the ball and he sort of started to, instead of go towards their goal, he started to go towards our goal, and he sort of fluffed up. Do you remember it?
Yeah, he ran back.
He fluffed the ball up and lost the ball, and we were like, "Oh, come on!" But in the same sort of moment, in the same sort of moment, he then did a little skill. It was so quick, and he got back, and I was like, "Oh, okay, all right."
But that's something.
That's confidence. That's a bit of cheeky.
But that's
I like
for
that.
me where I don't think Barnes, if I'm totally honest, would have done that. I don't think he would have got to it.
It was cheeky.
It was,
because he just messed up, and then he got himself out of jail with a sublime bit of skill. I mean, I can't see what he did, but he rolled it and flicked it. I was like, oh, that was a little bit Morezzi. I'm not going to get into that.
Yes,
but I do think
Andy does say here as well, City looked mediocre Sunday. Mavididi and McAteer never beat their man once. I will disagree with that. Mavididi took his man on quite a few times.
He did have a go.
I think Locke said on his video that he tried to take on people too much, and it just didn't work half the time.
I thought he looked. I mean, Andy says we watch City with blue tinted spectacles. Andy, if you watch our videos, you'll certainly know I don't. And for a big part, Andy, of yesterday's match, I was saying it, and I'll still say it did feel at times a little bit like watching a Brendan Rodgers side, and I would like to see a little bit of urgency. But Andy, the bit that I actually thought Enzo got right yesterday, more so than Brendan, was around that 70-minute mark. He did make some changes that did make some impact. And you could say they were a bit like for like, because Dennis Pratt for Ndidi, but it's not. Dennis Pratt's a different player to Ndidi, and Kelechi Iheanacho's a different player to Jamie Vardy. So there were minor tweaks, and you could argue he believed in the system.
It's hard because for me, I think if you started the team how it ended, I think you probably would have scored a few more goals earlier on. Like I say, we waited 75 minutes for really to have a shot on target. So,
like Terence says, I think it was 2 good subs. And I think you have to give the manager some credit for making the subs when it happens in there. Andrew above says Pratt and Nacho deserve to start in there.
I agree. I think going into the Burton game, because I'm guessing we would play a few of the fringe players maybe in that game. Some of the players that didn't play the weekend just gone. But like I say, for Huddersfield away, we know it's quite a big game because if we can get that winning mentality going and get that second win on the bounce, then someone like Pratt and Anacho probably deserves to start. And then maybe you see the likes of Vardy or Daka come on if you are drawing 1-1 or being late on and you do need that extra goal to win the game.
So I don't agree with Andy that we watched with blue tinted specs, but you know, I think we saw some decent things there. Somebody also goes on to say down here is that like Richard says here, I'd rather play okay and win rather than play well and lose, but that's the championship for you. For me, that you said at the start of this video really what was the most important thing, and for me it was 3 points, because we played okay yesterday. There was some signs of, you know, not progress because we're in a different league, but there were some signs that we're going to be okay in this division, and we've got 3 points in the bag, like you say.
Again, I'm going to probably agree with Andy in one way, because I did say at the start of the video that it wasn't pretty to watch half the time. It wasn't pretty, but like you say, as long as you win, even if you win 1-0 and it's your arse into the net, I don't care, because we just need to make sure we win these games and get back to that Premier League. So even if it's not pretty half the time, I thought half the time the games were, in the first half, I thought we looked quite good. We just didn't have the attacking nous to get the goal.
It looks like we need to thank Imtiaz, because he was saying prayers. Thanks, Imtiaz. All prayers of all denominations welcome for whatever it is to get in there.
Zach did say about Vestergaard starting. I honestly thought he had an all right game.
I thought he was okay. I always think Vestergaard's okay. I think he's we've seen over the past maybe 10 years that fans want to pick somebody to have a bit of a moan at, and it certainly has been Vestergaard. It's been Daniel Amati before. You know, there's been various players over the years who've had.
It's probably because I've not got the quality of what we've known before. Like I say, Cody's probably going to get straight into that team if he's fit over Vestergaard most likely. But the style that Enzo wants to play, I do think Vestergaard suits it, because he's good on the ball.
He had a lot of ball.
Yeah, he did have a lot of
ball, and he did okay.
The keeper gave it him. Obviously, the Danish link probably helps as well, being the keeper into Vestergaard. And again, he was, before he joined us, he was one of the best players for Southampton, and he was in that Danish squad.
The thing with Vestergaard is, and we all know it, we all see it, is that little ball over the top. And most strikers from most teams, even at the championship level, will be able to outpace him. And it did happen a couple of times yesterday where you are watching Vestergaard going, it's like watching an ocean liner turn around in there.
Yeah. Jonathan does say Harry Winks will be a little gem this season for us. I will agree, and I probably retract my statement when we first bought him and say that I don't think he was going to be anything special. He dropped down into this level, and I think he's just too good for the championship, in my eyes anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Scott also says here, do you both fear teams coming in for KDH, Pratt and Nacho? I certainly think Pratt is rumoured that he may well go. I think Castagna may well go. I think Daka may. I can't imagine Daka and Sumari really wanting to be championship level and not even getting a touch of the ball.
Like you said, if they couldn't get into the Premier League side last year, really, or barely getting into the team, why would they want to get into a team if they can't even get in the championship, when Sumari could go to a higher level in Ligue 1, in the French league, or like I say, Pratt or Castagna could get into Juventus in the Serie A. So
yeah, I hope out of those in particular, I'd like to keep all three of them, to be fair, Scott, and I hope nobody comes in for Dewsbury Hall. I'd like to think he may fancy a season at the championship with Enzo, and all being it possible. That's why it's great to get the points on the table quick, because some of these, Enzo mentioned before the game about 5 or 6 players saying they wanted to go and then now they want to stay. A few wins very quickly may just keep, you know, Faze, Castagna, Dewsbury Hall at the club, because they might just be like, yeah, this is going to be a blip. Let's enjoy it. We're going to win a lot of games, and let's do it.
And then last of all, before we do finish, we'll mention the keeper and Doyle, obviously 2 other new signings. I didn't know the keeper did actually save that one off the bar.
Yeah, he did a great save.
Until I actually saw it today that he hit the bar off his hand, so fair enough to him there. And then Callum Doyle against his old club last year.
It could have been you. It could have been you. That's what the Coventry fans were singing, which obviously we enjoyed singing back to Callum Doyle when we were 2-1 up.
I think he did well though, to say it was against his old club from last year. I thought it was
it
a bit shaky at times, but like I say, the moments where we needed him most, he did well to cover his back.
It's funny, isn't it? We all watch the same game. We all see it differently. I thought he had a really good game. I was watching him thinking,
it's like Faze. I thought he had a good game, and you didn't think he had that much of a game. So
I thought he did okay, Faze, but there was times. I mean, he was getting very far forward, Faze, at times, really pushing on, which was interesting to see. And Joe, let's end with Joe's sort of topic, because again, we've talked about this today here in the Leicester Fan TV office. Joe says, pleased to see new coach and staff celebrating with passion in his tracksuit without the notebook. It's so obvious, Reedy, isn't it? If you wanted to please the fans, it's so obvious. When you score a goal, celebrate.
You want to see our manager.
We want to see it. We all want to see a manager go bonkers down the touchline. Jose Mourinho, when he does his knee slides, if he's your manager, you want to see that. Martin O'Neill used to do it. And I agree, Nigel Pearson he was relatively into it, but it is nice. That video with Enzo going Wapo at the end, you're like, this guy's bothered. He wants to see a goal. He wants to see Leicester win, like we do. The
last time I saw Brendan Rodgers do that was when Kel scored in the last minute against Everton. It was VAR, the first VAR call, and that was what, 2 or 3 years ago. So, yeah, it's great to see.
I mean, no one wants to see this, or just jolly good.
Writing in his book.
Let's write that down in my notebook.
Yeah, we're mental.
It's obvious, and we've said for a while that somebody should have said to him, let's happen to it in here. Name says, what's happened to Reedy's? Listen, Reedy's voice. Explain what's happened to your voice.
Well, you don't beat Coventry every day, do you? You don't beat your local rivals every day.
He's lost it watching the football, mate.
I was going mental on that second goal winning. Yeah. But yeah, right, before we do finish, Phil, you not gave us your man of the match from yesterday. I'm guessing it's going to be a name that most people have said today.
There's a bit, I'd almost say, maybe give it to the keeper, because I think without the keeper, we'd have gone 2-0 down, and we could have been 3, to be fair. The keeper's kept us in it. And keepers always get overlooked for people who score 2 goals. But saying that, I'm going to give it to Dewsbury, just because we all love Dewsbury, and he's a Leicester lad, so we're always going to want him to have a good game to get 2 goals. So I would give it to Dewsbury, but I would give a big nod out to the keeper, because really it could have been all over before that was there.
Why is Reedy dressed so formally? It's because I'm at work. I've come nice and formal. He's just come in a casual top today. But there you go. Make sure to comment below what your thoughts are on the game. Phil, you've got a show tonight.
Yes.
At 7:30.
As ever, Monday night, 7:30, live fan zone show. It's just me, it's just you. So we'll get all your comments on tonight. So please do come and join me live, 7:30 till 8, right here, whatever channel you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're getting your Leicester Fan TV. It'll just be me and you. Loads of comments on screen. Okay. Thanks,
Make sure to talk about the Burton game as well, coming up on the Wednesday. Whatever you want to talk about. There you go. Appreciate you all coming on, and we'll see you all probably, like I say, on Phil's show tonight. 7:30 tonight. See you in a bit, guys. Where is this outro?
He can't find him.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.